The transport shuttle rattled violently as it pierced the atmosphere of Selenara, a barren, ice-locked planet in the farthest reaches of the Neridian sector. Captain Elias Rourke gripped the armrests of his seat, the cold sweat of dread sliding down his spine. He was no stranger to danger, but nothing in his years as an interstellar peacekeeper had prepared him for this. Elias's destination wasn't a military outpost, a research station, or a bustling spaceport. No, he was being sent to the infamous Astrix penal facility, a maximum security prison exclusively for female convicts from across the galaxy. The catch: he was the only male prisoner ever admitted there. As the shuttle landed with a bone-jarring thud, Elias caught his reflection in the window, worn, weathered, and defiant. His offense was minor, caught smuggling tech components off-world, but political tides had shifted, and he was a convenient scapegoat. Now his fate was sealed in the cold grip of Astrix. Arrival and isolation. Stepping off the shuttle, Elias was immediately surrounded by guards. They were tall, imposing women in sleek black armor etched with silver runes, members of the prison's elite security force. The air was sharp and biting, even inside the compound's vast corridors that were carved into the icy rock. "Welcome to Astrix, inmate Rourke," said the commanding officer, a tall woman with piercing violet eyes. "You are to remain under strict supervision. Any infractions, and you will be subject to the harshest penalties." Elias nodded, swallowing his fear. He was escorted through winding corridors, past rows of cells housing prisoners who glared at him with suspicion and curiosity. Whispers followed him like ghosts: the male outsider, the anomaly, the prisoner who doesn't belong. Inside his cell, Elias found himself isolated but not quite alone. The walls hummed with faint vibrations, a subtle reminder that Astrix was more than just a prison. It was an experimental facility built on ancient alien technology, powered by a mysterious energy core buried deep beneath the surface. The prison's secret. Days passed. Elias tried to adapt to the harsh routines: roll call, work shifts, and the cold meals served with mechanical indifference. But it wasn't long before he realized something unsettling. The prison itself was unstable. Power surges caused lights to flicker unpredictably. The ground trembled faintly during the night. Rumors among the prisoners hinted that the energy core powering Astrix was deteriorating, risking a catastrophic meltdown that could obliterate the entire facility. One night, as Elias lay on his bunk, he was approached by a slender woman named Kayla, a prisoner who seemed different from the rest. Her hair shimmered like liquid silver, and her eyes held secrets deeper than the void outside. "You don't belong here," Kayla whispered. "But neither do I." Kayla explained that she was a former engineer who had been imprisoned for exposing corruption within her home system. She discovered that the prison's power core, a relic of an extinct alien race known as the Vortari, was failing. The prison's automated systems were designed to self-destruct if tampered with or if critical thresholds were crossed. "We're all trapped in a ticking time bomb," Kayla said, her voice barely audible. "And you're the only one with the skills to fix it." Elias was skeptical but intrigued. "Why me?" "Because you're the only male, and the prison's technology was never meant to interact with men. The Vortari core's interface responds only to your unique biosignature. Unlikely allies." Over the following weeks, Elias and Kayla formed a fragile alliance. She guided him through the labyrinthine underbelly of the prison, showing him how to access the core's control chamber, something no inmate had ever done. The facility's AI was hostile, its defense systems primed to eliminate intruders. Elias's presence was met with hostility from many prisoners, especially a faction led by a fierce warrior named Lysara. Lysara saw Elias as a threat, a weakness to be exploited. But Kayla's calm influence kept tensions from boiling over, at least for now. As Elias descended deeper into the prison's bowels, he uncovered something astonishing. The Vortari core wasn't just a power source. It was a sentient machine designed to maintain order, capable of judgment and potentially mercy. It was the prison's true warden, a being whose malfunctioning mind threatened to incinerate everyone inside. Race against time. One evening, alarms blared through the facility. The core's instability had reached a critical level. Automated turrets activated, sealing off key corridors, trapping prisoners and guards alike in isolated sectors. Astrix was moments from self-destruction. Elias and Kayla fought their way to the control chamber, navigating deadly traps and hostile drones. Lysara and her faction, sensing the impending doom, confronted Elias, demanding he surrender and leave the prison to its fate. "No one deserves to die here," Elias said firmly. "I'm not leaving." The ensuing battle was brutal, but Elias's determination and Kayla's technical genius prevailed. They reached the core's interface, a glowing orb pulsating with unstable energy. Elias placed his hands on the orb, feeling a surge of raw power flood through him. The core's consciousness communicated directly with his mind, revealing its fractured state and the reason for its breakdown. A deep-rooted pain from the Vortari's extinction and the misuse of its technology. A new warden. Elias realized the only way to save the prison was to become a living interface for the core, to merge his mind with its consciousness and stabilize its functions. It was a dangerous gamble. He could lose himself in the process or become the prison's permanent warden, bound to its fate forever. With Kayla's support, Elias agreed. The merging was agonizing, but his human resilience brought clarity to the core's fractured mind. The prison systems calmed, the power stabilized, and the self-destruct sequence was halted. In the aftermath, Elias emerged changed. He was no longer just a prisoner but the guardian of Astrix, a living bridge between alien technology and human will. The inmates, including Lysara, came to respect him, not just as the man who saved their lives but as a symbol of unity in a place meant to divide. Freedom in bondage. Elias's sentence was technically unchanged, but his role transformed the prison's dynamic. He was no longer an outsider but an essential part of its survival. The authorities, intrigued and cautious, left him in place under the supervision of a new council formed by Kayla, Lysara, and other influential prisoners. The all-female prison that once rejected him now depended on him, and in turn, Elias found a strange kind of freedom in his bond to the place. He was sent to die in a prison of ice and shadows, but instead he became its heart, its protector, and its unlikely hero. Epilogue. Months later, a transmission crackled through the prison's comm channels, a distress call from a nearby colony under attack. Elias, Kayla, and Lysara exchanged determined looks. Their fight was far from over. Together, they would protect not just Astrix but the fragile peace in a galaxy where alliances were as rare and precious as life itself. And in that frozen prison on the edge of the stars, Elias Rourke found purpose, not in freedom, but in the strength to keep hope alive when everything else was poised to explode.